So today I need to work on my Kioti CX2510 tractor. This is a 2021 model, but what I've got going on is it won't start. It won't even turn over. So I'll show you. Turn the key on, dash lights up, goes through its little routine. And then when I go to turn the key, nothing. It's acting like one of the safety switches is engaged, and I've checked all of the levers, controls, everything's where it's supposed to be. I've checked the voltage in the battery. I've checked the fuses, done all the simple things. Just won't start. So I've looked online, and it sounds like one of the common problems for this is the safety circuit has its own module, and it's back underneath here. So it is this box right up in here. So all of the safety switches, so the switch from your seat, the switch from the transmission lever, the brake, all of those come up into that module, and then that's what decides whether or not it's going to let you start it. So I have found online, so here's I think it's out of their Kioti technical manual. So this is a breakdown of that box. So there's a diagram that shows the pinout, and then below it, it shows what all of the pins are, and you can see it's got the the neutral safety, the seat switch, the PTO levers are all coming through that. So what I'm going to do is try and tip that box so I can get to the wires and check the signals coming into it. The manual that I looked at said you should take the seat loose and do it from up above, but I think I can get the bolts loose and just turn the box so the wires are facing the back, and be able to probe the wires from there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll start doing some testing. Well, I didn't have any luck reaching in from the back. I just couldn't get my arm up in there. So I went ahead and took the seat off. So that's not too bad. There's 4 bolts holding the seat on, and then under the seat there's a pan that the seat sits on, and there's 7 bolts holding this on. It sits down in there. So the one thing you got to remember is if you're taking the seat off, be sure and unhook the safety switch wire. Otherwise you'll yank it loose. So the wire's tied up underneath there, and then if you just follow it to the back of the tractor, it plugs in on the right side, just down kind of off the side of the tail light there. So unplug that, and then you can lift the seat off. Now, the one thing is now I don't have that switch in the circuit, but I can deal with that later. So they were all 12 millimeter to take them all out. So, and then the safety module, it is 2 10 millimeter nuts. There's a ground wire. So when I'm going to do my testing, I'm going to put that back on there, and then I've got my voltmeter set up, and you'll need a small probe on the end so you can get it in the back side of the plug and make contact with the wire from that back side. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go into this first pin here. Tough to do one-handed trying to hold the camera. I should come up with a better way to do that, but okay, I think I've got it in there making contact. So that first pin is power to the module. So as soon as the key is turned on, it should read 12 volts. So I'll turn the key on, and there it goes. It's doing its little setup thing, so 10 volts, and then it jumped up to almost 12 volts. So I do have power at the module. If I didn't have power there, that'd tell me the fuse is probably blown. So the next thing would be we can check some of the safety switches. So let's say number let's check the rear PTO. So number 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rear PTO has almost 12 volts. Now if I take and turn the rear PTO on, there it just went to 0. So it tells me that that switch is working. So when the levers are in the correct position, it should send power, is what that's telling me. So then if we do the mid PTO, that's pin 18. Let's see if I can find that. I believe that's this one. No, the next one over. Yeah, it must be this next one. Well, I'm gonna have to move the camera around just a little bit to hold things for me. Alright, I'm gonna have to pause the video here so I can get a better angle at that. You don't need to see me fumbling around, so hold on. Okay, so after a little messing around, I was able to get the probe in there. I think I just was on the wrong wire maybe. So number 18, which is the mid PTO switch. So I've got right at 12 volts. If I turn the mid PTO on, then it goes to 0. So turn it back off, and it's back to 12 volts. So those switches are good. So you can go ahead and do all that with all of your safety switches just to make sure that everything's working correctly. You know, with the seat switch, you can do just a continuity test since I have the seat off of there. But I'm at the point where I'm thinking all the switches are good, and it's just this module that needs to be replaced. So I think I'm gonna be pretty confident in saying that that's what my problem is, and I have read online that that is kind of a common issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and order one of those, and then we'll get it put on and see if that takes care of the problem. Okay, so off camera, I thought as long as I was hooked up, I'd go ahead and just double check all of the rest of the switches. One thing interesting to note was the brake switch was opposite. So when the brake's pushed in, the lever's down, locking the brake on, it was the voltage went to about 0, and when I released that, it went to 12 volts. So that was backwards from all the other switches, but everything else worked out. The other thing I checked, there's a signal coming into this from the key start. So there's a start input, and then if everything's happy in here, then there's an output for the start. But what you can do in a pinch, if you're, say, stranded out on the road or in the woods or something and just want to get limped back to the shop, you can make a jumper wire like I did here. And this is connecting number 17, which is the start signal input. And so that gets 12 volts when you turn the key to the start position. And then it's jumping it over to the number 26 pin, which is the start output, which will send 12 volts out if the module's happy, and that's what makes your starter go. So now that I've got this jumpered, if I turn the key on, you know, watch yourself, because right now there is no safety stuff active. If I had it in gear, it would still start. So just be extra careful when you're doing this. If you're not comfortable with it, then don't do it. Have the dealer take care of it. But if you're desperate and just need to get it back to the building, you can jumper this, and then it will go ahead and start. So once you have it running, then you can pull that wire out, just leave it running. You'll have to, you know, put the seat back on with a couple bolts, and then plug the seat safety switch in, because as soon as you put it in gear, then the other safety circuit would probably shut it down. So, but the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to leave this wire in a position where it can ground out. Again, it's only got 12 volts when you turn the key to start, but You still just want to protect that. So I think once I got it started, I'd remove it, throw the seat on quick, plug it in, and drive it back to the shop and call it good. But that's a temporary fix only, and remember, you're bypassing all the safety stuff if you do that. So, but I'm going to go ahead, everything tells me it's that module, so I'm still going to go ahead and order one, and we'll get that replaced. The new safety module showed up. So this is the old one. You can see, get some light in here, the part number is that TB15-0022A. But the one that I got, that the dealer sent me, was the last number is 0085B. So hopefully that means I've got an upgraded one that's going to last a little longer. But I did find out from the dealer that there is a service bulletin on this safety module for, I believe it's 2020 year tractors and older. So mine's a 21, and of course it didn't fall into that. But I think if yours does, you might want to check with them. It might be covered under warranty. But I went ahead and put the new one in, and be sure to hook the ground wire up when you do that. And then since I don't have the seat on, I took that jumper wire that I had for starting it, and I put it in the plug for the seat safety switch. So that'll fool it into thinking that somebody's sitting in the seat, even though the seat's not on there. So now the safety stuff is hooked back up. So to start it, I'm going to have to push the clutch pedal in. And it thinks somebody's in the seat, so everything should be good. So here we go. Well, that's what it was. The safety module is bad. So I'm going to go ahead and put the seat back on, and I should be good to go. Thanks for watching the video. Hope this helped you. And give me a like if it did, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.